Okay, we went through how to bone the meat off of the carcass yesterday. Now we've got the individual sections. I didn't have a video of breaking down the front shoulder because basically what you're doing is just taking off the biggest pieces that you can and cleaning up all the fat and as much of the silver skin as you can get off of that, because that's going to be ground. This is the hindquarter. This is the lower part, down the lower leg. This is all got a lot of tendons in it, not much fat. Basically, we're going to take these sections off, clean up as much tendon as we can, and make sure that there's no fat in any of this. Venison fat is not your friend. Fat in beef makes it tender, makes it taste good. Fat in venison makes it taste gamey. So basically what we're trying to do is to take this stuff off, clean everything up. There's a sheet of muscle that kind of wraps over these other muscle groups. That's going to take off and get ground. You flip this way, and all you're really doing is taking this and separating the muscle groups. And you don't want to do a whole lot of cutting really, except for where they're connected. You can kind of see this is the upper part of that lower leg there. This will be ground. All the lower parts are kind of tough, got a lot of tendon. That's all going to get ground. This is where your good meat from the hindquarter is in these large muscle groups. And they all just kind of are not connected. I mean, except for a little bit of membrane. You can pretty much take, I don't know if you could see this, I'll remove this back. You can pretty much take it by hand, a lot of it, except for when you get down to where it's really connected, and just pretty much pull it out. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, take this little bit of fat off, clean up this, and this is a roast. I'm gonna do the same thing here for time's sake. I'm not gonna video me doing this whole thing, but it's pretty easy. There's really not much to it. This is a piece here. This is actually kind of two pieces. This part here I usually grind. This part here turns into another roast. And what I'll do with these large sections that I'm taking out is, a lot of times this one piece, this section here, when I cut this in half, this is enough for a meal. So I'll clean it all up. You can see there's not a lot of tendon in here. This is nice meat. I'll take the fat off, clean up all the silver skin and stuff. I'll have a nice roast sitting there. I'll wrap it in saran wrap. That keeps all the air off. And then I'll put it in freezer paper and label what it is. I'll do the section whole when I do it in the saran wrap. A lot of people cut it into stew, cut it into steak, do whatever they do with it. Every cut you make, when you freeze it, that opens up another place for freezer burn to happen. It also, when it thaws, all your juices, all the flavor runs out of it when it thaws out. So if you freeze this piece whole, when you take it out, let it thaw just a little bit. If you want steaks, you steak it. If you want to do like a Philadelphia cheesesteak, you can slice it as thin as you want when it's, frozen like that. If you're going to make a stew, cube it into stew meat. You want to roast, leave it whole. When you take it out, you decide what you want to do with it at that point. Instead of deciding at this point, all right, this is all going to be stew and cutting it all up. It also makes the process go a lot easier, and I like it that way. So that's how you do a hindquarter. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's going to be monotonous and pretty simple. Thank you.